Well, it's February 1st, and that means the new Guest Hollow Government, Economics, and Personal Finance course has officially launched, and I cannot begin to tell you how excited I am to share this curriculum with you today. Hey everybody, and welcome back to my Practically Imperfect Life. If you are joining me for the first time, welcome. My name's Abby, and I'm a homeschooling mom of 2 high schoolers, and here on my channel, I like to share all things homeschooling, particularly for those later years, and things about home and garden and just mom life in general. But today, my focus is on a curriculum that I have been eyeballing since they first announced they were working on it. This is the Government, Economics, and Personal Finance course from Guest Hollow. So some of you watching may already be familiar with Guest Hollow and using their curriculum in your homeschool. But for those of you who have never heard of the company, Guest Hollow is a small business run by a husband and wife team, and they put together just some of the most beautiful, interesting curriculum that I have ever come across. They really approach each subject in a way that just brings it to life for your students, even going beyond what I would call just a living book curriculum, although it does include a lot of living books. Their curriculum steers away from the traditional, hardbound textbook and quizzes and tests, and instead for each subject, they pull together all kinds of resources for us to use, whether that's videos, activities, recipes, fabulous living books. In some cases, they even have an online textbook and workbooks for you as well. And the result is that each subject just goes beyond those basics, and it really helps your student delve into all of the different aspects of that subject. And many times, and I will attest to this, you find a subject you come across in the curriculum and you just go down the bunny trail and you find out so much more than you ever were expecting. And so when I found out that they were going to be launching a new curriculum focused for high schoolers covering not one, but 3 subjects, government, economics, and personal finance, I was really intrigued and excited. So your first question might be, does this curriculum really cover all 3 of those subjects thoroughly? And having had a chance to look at everything included in the curriculum, I can tell you absolutely it does. In fact, your students are going to find out so much more about these subjects than we ever did in public school, and you'll be learning right alongside them. Now, you can, of course, choose to utilize the curriculum any way you wish. Maybe you only want to do government one year and econ another year. Maybe you want to do 2 of them together and one another year, or maybe you want to go ahead and do all 3 at the same time. It's very customizable and flexible with the way that you want to work it into your homeschool. So with this being a non-traditional curriculum, you might ask, what exactly is it that I get when I make a purchase? Well, first of all, your student gets access to the online textbook, which heavily focuses on the government portion of this curriculum. The online textbook is easy to navigate. You can click, get to the chapters and subsections your student is assigned to read. It's easy to follow along. There are lots of great pictures and graphics included that just really enhance what it is you're reading. So something that is also included that was new to me were printable vocabulary cards. These fall along with the chapters of the online textbook. So some of the pages will look like this, where you have terms that you come across in each chapter's readings along with the definitions. And as you can see, you can cut them out, fold them along the dotted line, and then you have quick and easy vocabulary cards to study. They also introduce a lot of words where they want you to learn the Latin root of them. And so you have these ones that have this great little carrot graphic here. And so it has one side where the whole Latin root and where the word came from is written out. And then they have one where there are blanks. And so your student can quiz themselves on the different vocabulary they come across in each chapter. And this document of vocabulary, it's 122 pages long. So lots and lots of vocabulary cards that you can use throughout the entire school year. Now, another component of the curriculum is the student workbook. Now, this comes as a PDF, and you can choose to print all of it, print a few pages at a time, or not use it at all. Totally up to you. Now, we love to include this in our curriculum, and you can see I have printed the whole workbook out here, and this is how big it is, printed on one side, and then I just had it spiral bound here at home. Now, I really like these workbooks because they really highlight the important things that your students are learning from their different reading sources. And I've always appreciated in the curriculum that it indicates which book or source those questions are coming from. So let me show you an example here. So if you look up here, for example, it tells me that this is from the government online textbook and which section it covers. So my student knows when they're doing that reading assignment that these questions reference to that. Now, if it references one of their other books that they are doing, it will indicate that at the top of the workbook page. Here's just to give you another example. So this says up top here that this is from the Cartoon Introduction to Economics Volume 1. So again, when my student has that reading assignment, they will know that these workbook pages go along with that. Now, the workbook pages are also marked by which week they go with. So if you don't want to sit there and try to figure out which pages to assign to your student on which day, simply tell them, hey, this week we're doing week 1. Make sure you check your workbook and do all of those questions as you're doing the week 1 reading assignments. That's pretty much how we do it, and it has worked out really well with the other courses we have used from them. So overall, I have to say I'm really pleased with this workbook. I think it has that perfect mix of graphics and illustrations to help get points across and keep it, visually interesting without being too little kiddish to where your older students will think like, hey, this is a kid's workbook. But it really covers good information. And if you are looking for a way to add a grading component to the course, grading the student workbook is a wonderful way to do that. And speaking of grading the workbook, you also get a PDF of the workbook answer key. So the last thing you get with your purchase is the resource list and schedule. Now this is available as a Word document that you can go in and edit, a PDF that you can either follow the links off of or print off, and also an online version. Now I choose to go ahead and print the PDF version for myself. And again, you can see that I just printed it all off, single-sided, I spiral bound it. And I use that to help me with my planning, to be able to go through and figure out what I'm going to assign on different days. You can use it any way that you choose. But let's show you some of the things that are included in this resource list and schedule.
First, you're going to get a book list, and for each book title that they provide, they'll also give you a ranking number here. So books are ranked anywhere from 1 to 4. 1 are the books that are most important to the curriculum, so ones that you definitely don't want to sub out or skip over, and then they go down in importance from there. So you can look at that ranking number to determine how important the book is to the course overall. Now, if the book has a star next to it, like this one down here, that tells you that there are questions in the student workbook that relate to that book. So that way, if you want to make sure that your student can do every page in the workbook, you can look for the star. Something else that I really like is that it tells you which weeks that particular book or resource is used in the curriculum. So you can see how many works is referenced in weeks 1 through 35. Whatever happened to penny candy is used during weeks 1 through 4. That can help you if you need to spread out your purchasing, or if you're getting books from the library and you want to make sure that you are getting it kind of on an as-needed basis. You also get a scheduled video list. These are not the YouTube videos that you're doing on a weekly basis. These are like longer documentaries or movies, just telling you when they would recommend them be used in the curriculum. Following all of that, there is a supply list. So for each week, it tells you exactly what you would need to do an activity. Most of the supplies listed for this curriculum are related to the personal finance course.
So when you purchase your curriculum, I highly recommend you take some time to really look through that supply list and movie list and book list and decide, what it is that you want to start sourcing out. It is never too early to start looking for good deals. And again, when you know that the different books are due, you can go ahead and space out your purchases to be able to get a little bit added to your library at a time. So once you get past the book list and the supply list, you're going to come to the weekly schedules. Now, when you first look at these pages, I guarantee you're going to think to yourself, there's just so much there. There is no way my student can do all of this every week. And you're right. You could choose to spend several hours a day doing this curriculum. And if your student's finding a lot of joy and interest in these subjects, maybe that's what you decide to do. But really, this curriculum is designed to be kind of a smorgasbord or a buffet of options where you can pick and choose what things it is that you want to do. We have never been able to do everything on a week's schedule for any of our other curriculums from them. Instead, I've kind of gone through and found the things that I thought would be most interesting or engaging, or maybe just changed it up week to week. Instead of doing an on-hand project every single week, we might do one week, and the next week we do a longer documentary. Again, totally up to you and your student and what their learning style is and what it is that they find most engaging for their learning.
So for each week, it's going to give you a list of the books that are going to be used that week, along with reading assignments for each day. Here's the online textbook. So again, these are live links if you're using the online version of the schedule, or if you have the PDF or Word document pulled up on your computer, click on them. It'll take you right to those things. You will also see they've included links to free teacher manuals or student books. If you want to use them for different resources, that is really handy. And then activities and printables. For example, this week it's recommending an online game, some iCivics activities. And then if there are recipes that are linked, those will be on there as well. Then come the YouTube videos for the week. Again, live links, you can click right on them. It will take you straight to the YouTube video. Now you see these symbols next to the different videos. These symbols are also seen next to the book titles. So I can see that certain videos go along with lessons for the young economist. So if I'm on a time crunch or I want to figure out what things we might be able to cut, maybe I only want to do 1 or 2 videos that go along with that book. Maybe one week I want to do all videos and no reading. It's totally up to you, but it is really helpful to kind of see what videos relate to what reading assignments. Full-length videos are shown next. There is a section where you can do your book choice. So if your student's doing additional reading and you just want to keep track of it, you can do that. And then reference books are put separately along with their reading assignments for the week. So again, you could print this off and use it, or you could have your students work on it right from your computer. Totally up to you.
So as you can imagine, with this curriculum including 3 different subjects, there is a lot of different things that are covered. Now in high school myself, I took both government and AP government, and having had a chance to flip through the books, the online textbook, and the workbook, I can tell you that it definitely covers all of the material I learned in both of those courses. It's extremely thorough on its study of government. Economics as well. I remember like this much from high school econ, which I apologize to my high school teacher for that. It was a fun class, but I just didn't retain as much as I wish I had. Your student is really going to understand different aspects of our economy and how it works with this course. I think especially since it is including recommended online games that are kind of like practicing things in real life, it's just going to make it super engaging for them. And it'll be the type of thing that they're going to remember and take with them after they're done in your homeschool. The personal finance course covers a lot of different things from budgeting to credit cards to just making good financial decisions. And let's not joke ourselves. Teenagers need to learn this stuff. A lot of problems in our country come from the fact that people leave their parents' homes and they have no idea how to manage their money. So personal finance is just something that I think is super important for high schoolers to review before they graduate. So a big question might be, how do I grade a course that has no tests or quizzes for me to give my student? Well, the short answer is you can grade it however you want. But to give you a couple of ideas on how we're planning to do it in our homeschool, we're going to start with the student workbook. So since I have an answer key to that, I will grade those weekly assignments that my students do, and that will be a portion of their grade. Another part will be the participation. Since there are different activities I can assign on different weeks, I'm going to check in with my students and see how they're doing with those activities, what sorts of things they are, creating online or learning online, and ensure that they are doing those activities and that they can tell me what it is they're learning from it. So that will be a portion of their grade as well. If you've watched any of my previous videos about the current Guest Hollow curriculum we're using, you'll know I am a big fan of narration notebooks. So narration notebooks kind of come from the Charlotte Mason method of teaching, and that's where you have your student kind of write back to you what it is they're learning. Now you could do this in any format that you want to, but I just have small notebooks that I gave each of my kids for their Guest Hollow course. And each day I have them write down facts and interesting things that they've learned that day. It can come from reading assignments, it can come from online activities, it can come from the videos that they've watched. I don't give them any specific guidelines except, hey, I want to know what it is that you learned, and I want it written in complete sentences. So I guess I give them a little bit of a guideline there. We're in high school. We can write complete sentences. So you might choose to include that as a part of it. Sometimes I like to introduce other projects as well. Maybe that's having them pick a topic from the semester and writing a more in-depth research paper on it, or giving a presentation on a topic that we've covered that semester. You could also take this opportunity to write your own tests and quizzes. With the workbook, it's really easy to identify some of the key points, and you could quickly create your own tests and quiz to give your student. With the vocabulary cards, you could also do a vocabulary quiz as well. Another idea would be to check the Facebook page for the curriculum. Guest Hollow hosts several different Facebook pages, one for users of all of the curriculum, and then they have a page for each of the individual curriculums that they provide. What's really cool about that is that if you go onto those pages, you have people who are using the curriculum currently sharing ideas on what has worked for them or things that they've tried. In some cases, people will share up in the file sections there quizzes and tests that they've written, and then those are free for you to download and use yourself. So I hope you're as excited about this new curriculum from Guest Hollow as I am. We have just really loved incorporating their curriculum into our homeschool, and I cannot wait to get started on this one. I will link their website down below for you so you can find the Government Economics and Personal Finance course along with all the other great programs that they offer. I do know for a limited time they're going to be offering some special pricing on it before it goes to its usual price. So don't delay and check it out here soon. And I wanted to celebrate with a little giveaway for my viewers to help get you started for this curriculum. So I have 4 different books from the curriculum that I am going to be giving away to one of my viewers. So I have The People's Guide to the United States Constitution, Whatever Happened to Penny Candy, The Money Challenge for Teens, and the Cartoon Introduction to Economics, Volume 1. So these are 4 of the books that are recommended for the course, and I will give these away to one viewer at the end of February. So to enter in this giveaway, it's very simple. Simply give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and down below, leave a comment telling me what's your favorite subject to teach in your homeschool. I will choose a winner at random, and then I will comment on your comment, letting you know that you're the winner, and we will arrange to have this sent out to you. I do at this time only ship within the continental US, and that's just because shipping costs are so expensive. So really sorry to anyone who's international or any Canadian friends, but at this time, I just got to stick to reasonable shipping. Anyways, thank you for joining me for today's video, everybody. I hope it got you as excited for this new curriculum as I am. I will see you in the next one. Happy homeschooling.